Hey everyone, welcome back to the stream. In today's video, we're going to be going over my first sets of using the 30-second timer. I skipped the first 2 days. I just had a lot of personal things to do, but now we're back, and yeah, I'm going to show you the team I've been using, I guess. I say I've been using. This is the only team I've used so far. It's going to be Sableye in the front with Medicham and Bastiodon on the back. The Bastiodon is not XL, and the Medicham is an old 15-15-15 with 2 XLs in it, I think, or 3. And then the Sableye is some terrible IVs. I think it's 14-12-15 with a couple XLs and Best Buddy as well. So not a ton of XL stuff here. Let's go ahead and get into the videos. If you haven't, go ahead and hit that sub button. It really helps me out a ton. All right, let's get into it. Yeah, and I really don't have, I literally don't have any more XL candy for Sableye. I could actually level it up again, but I don't have any more XL. Also, you notice my Sableye is not purified, and I wish I did have a purified Sableye. I do not, so that's why I'm not using one here. All right, so into the Politoed matchup. I mean, this is a pretty neutral matchup, and this is my very first game of this format, so forgive me if I fail anything here, but it feels like you want to be super up on energy on a switch out, so that's why I went like 4 Shadow Claws up on this, then try to switch. Obviously we CMP here, so I'm gonna try to save my Sableye here. They're gonna be out of energy here. I'm gonna come in with the Medicham, try to farm up a little bit of extra energy. Oh, I'm gonna try to catch on the Medicham. It also seems like you probably want to catch on Mon as well, because if you ever catch, they're going to be off on the switch timer by basically 10 seconds. It's like 8, I think, for a charge move. But yeah, if they're down that much, even if they have a counter to you now, I can switch out and try to gain huge energy advantages into neutral matchups. And I think that's kind of the point of this timer. Also, I know we're late to the video here, but if you haven't done this format, it is very fast. I don't think that Hypno and Scrafty are very good in this. I'll get to that at the end of the video. Yeah, so that's why we've changed the team here. I think Medicham is the only fighting type worth using, as far as I've seen. I have seen some Vigoroth safe swaps and Obstagoon. While they are not fighting type, they do have counter, and also DD is probably one of the best Mon. Alright, and they come in with this matchup with the Umbreon, and Bastiodon beats Umbreon in all shield scenarios, I believe. But I don't know if it's Bastiodon's XL'd, because our Bastiodon's actually really bad. It's just a lucky trade from way back in the day. I don't know the IVs off the top of my head here for this video, but maybe I can put that in the comment or something below. But our IVs on all 3 of these Pokemon are quite awful, as I stated at the beginning. Alright, and this matchup takes just a ton of time. I thought about making the video like 160% speed, like it would have been fast and to get through. So the reason I switched there was because I want him to actually come in with Alolan Ninetales, take out this Medicham so I can get more farm to take an even more energy advantage against the possible Umbreon. And even if they come back in with the Politoed is out of energy, and it probably will only take 1 fast attack to take out. And these Weather Balls really don't do much, but Weather Ball is the best move to use against it. I guess if you have Dazzling Gleam, that does more damage, but we do have a shield, so you're probably just going to go straight Weather Ball against us. And I'm looking to try to catch during a switch, so you notice I actually stop for a second. I wait for a Snarl to come in, and then I throw in the middle of a Snarl. So a lot of people are trying to switch out to catch moves, and sometimes it's going to take a really inefficient play to get something to work here. And I'm just trying to take energy. Sableye's nothing at this point. I think he'll probably undercharge this and farm down if I was him. Yeah. And ours is not XL, so yeah. We end up KOing this, and Sableye's probably going to get taken out by the Sableye. The Politoed's probably going to get taken out by the Sableye here, just because, like I said, Sableye had no more HP left. Alright, so that was the first game. Second game, Valor Ash. I do remember this game, and I really love this team that he has here. I almost made a similar team. I think If you guys know me, I really hate elemental types, so that's like grass, water, electric, fire. But I think Venusaur is actually really good in this meta because it is one of the harder hitting Frenzy Plant users, or I guess Community Day move users, so I think it's really worth it to have it here. Our team doesn't have a direct answer to Venusaur, but everything's pretty good against Venusaur. So what I want to try to do here is I try to take it down a little bit, but then the problem is I have to switch now. So I get the 2 shields, and then I try to switch. I decide to shield this, and his switch timer is probably up soon, and he has a ton of energy on this Venusaur, so we're at a really bad situation. But we do have a shield advantage. And he does throw a move here, so the switch timer, we gain 8 seconds on the switch timer there for him throwing this move. And you're going to see something weird by me here. I'm actually going to try to throw the power-up punch as soon as possible. This is to try to realign the switch timer again. You're going to have to do a ton of inefficient plays, it seems like, in this new meta, to try to pull the switch timer towards you. Okay, and then he switches out, and then our timer's almost back up because of that. So we end up back in this really good matchup. We do have a shield advantage. Probably don't shield this. Rock Slide doesn't KO us. I think Thunderbolt might KO us. Yeah. It would have been close. And then we get to the foul play here. So that management of the switch timer is everything now. And even if you're doing, like I said, inefficient things, I think it is worth it. All right, and then I actually end up not trying to farm it down. I want to get a little bit of energy onto the Bastiodon, give it a little bit of an edge. It is going to be able to beat the Venusaur that's left, and I assume that he's running some sort of ABB, so I imagine Bastiodon is decent in the back here against whatever is in the back, because he has a counter user up front, and a Venusaur, which is a soft, it's an even-ish matchup, and then I don't know what's here in the back. Let's see. Umbreon. So this is good for us. Obviously, like I said before. Medicham obviously would have been better into this matchup, but it's okay either way. And I'm just trying to throw at times where I'm not getting to the move exactly, because I just don't want to get caught by the Venusaur, right? Venusaur has not a lot of HP left, probably in farm down range. I don't know. We could throw a Stone Edge at the Venusaur also, actually. So maybe it doesn't matter. But, yeah, this team... Umbreon... So what I was saying at the beginning, this was a team I thought about using. Not this exact team, but something similar. With Umbreon, maybe Tropius and DD with the DD lead. Because the thing is, the DD leads are everywhere right now. DD lead is insane because you can go for Psycho Boost and then dip and then keep like switching in and out to go Psycho Boost on people, which is crazy. I think I might switch to... I don't want to shield this because I know he's got a Frenzy Plant. That's why we're just saving the shield for the Frenzy Plant. But I could switch into Medicham here. I wonder if I do. Okay. Huh. I could switch into Medicham, shield on Medicham, and go for a Psycho Boost. Not Psycho Boost, Psychic. Which would one-shot the Venusaur also. And we are almost at the move. And he's going to try to farm up the 2 moves because we still have that shield. So having that 1 shield advantage really made him play a little different, I think. Which was obviously good for us. But I think that power-up punch in the mid-game is what really won us this game. We were able to realign the clock. Even though we got misaligned by like 25 seconds or something insane. So, yeah. Coming in with the clock is obviously best here. And then... I don't know a lot of these matchups. I really haven't used Sableye since I best buddied it, probably like 5 months ago, or before XLs. So that's why it was best buddied. I never had the Hundo, which obviously would have been nice, but, and yeah, we still need 1 more power-up, which I probably won't get, to be honest. I don't think I've seen a Sableye in so freaking long. I can't remember the last time I saw a Sableye, so... Alright, they come in with Alolan Marowak. This is obviously not great for us. Both the Pokemon in the back are good against it. So I kind of just want to... I probably need to shield Shadow moves, and then try to realign, which is going to be very tough, because I don't want to come in Bastiodon, because they obviously have shown us the Blastoise, and they are the ones who have saved energy, so already we're at massive, massive disadvantages. So this is where knowing the matchups may have come in handy better. I don't know if Sableye wins that front matchup against Blastoise. And then they do come in with a Charmer. Not great. I do try to get to this Power Gem. Maybe it was greedy. Maybe I could have thrown it on a shield, but I kind of doubt it. Maybe, though. And then we do get to farm this up a lot, so maybe this will be fine. But I have a feeling they're going to switch back into the Blastoise, which means I'm going to have to go back into the Medicham. Timers are almost up on both ends. I did switch before them. So, oh, they're just going to stay in maybe? Okay. They're going to stay in to try to regain alignment. Obviously, that's very good on their part. I think it just... Okay. Yeah, so this is obviously very good for them. I wonder if I could have shielded farm this down, the Blastoise. They have a ton of energy, but probably not too Hydro. There's so much. I should have gone for the power-up punch there. I probably could. Oh my goodness. I guess I forgot how much energy I had here on the Medicham. I think I could have actually won this game. I played these games yesterday. I'm actually recording this in the morning. Probably a couple hours before you're actually watching this. And now I'm trying to realign the clock here with this power punch. But I think if I pupped right there, I actually had a chance to win this game. Pup on the Blastoise just to bring it all the way down to almost no HP. And then farm down both of these Mon with the with Bastiodon. This is actually... I'm thinking back, even before I made the Hypnos Crafty teams, this is the first time I think I've ever used Bastiodon. So I'm not quite familiar with it. And, we actually get to the move here. I do remember this. We get to the move here, and then I try to undercharge because you notice we didn't get the energy, which means it won't register for one more turn. And then I lose CMP to this Blastoise. Dang, we were close to winning this game. A couple mistakes. Well, really only the one mistake. I think I played the rest of the game really well. Yeah. One mistake might be all it needs in this timer. You'll see in these videos, I think, there are a couple times where I just switch in the wrong thing because things are happening so fast. A lot of my videos are more methodical. Oh my gosh, this person's using Hypno. I think Hypno is pretty unplayable. They come in Mandibuzz. This is another thing I've noticed. If you hard win the lead and you have a balanced team in the back, or an ABB team rather, not a balanced team, an ABB, it feels really difficult to lose. As you see here, like, we kind of just maintain alignment. You don't want to throw moves if you don't have to. Keep close to 100 energy, or like 50 energy, whatever. You can use one move and try to stay near another move. When they come in with something else. They actually come in with the Azumarill here, and I'm like, okay, I guess what I'll do is throw this Stone Edge, because none of my Pokemon are good against Azumarill, and then come in with Medicham, because my Medicham's not really great against everything else in the back, so I'll just maintain alignment here. I probably won't shield anything, and then just go for Psychics. And then we have to remember that we missed the switch here by probably 10 seconds, so we need to make sure to maintain switch. So what I do is I don't throw the move, but my internal clock here was way off. So I just throw a little bit of energy here to try to catch back up. No use in throwing the big move at this. And then I switch into Sableye. Our timers are weird. I need to make sure to try to throw at the halfway mark here to try to realign as much as possible. Don't need to shield Sableye at all here, even if this is a Shadow Ball. I don't believe it, but because he's already got a Dark type in the back. So I want to throw, like, right now. Yeah, okay. This has realigned our clocks completely. This is about when he switched last time. I noticed on the timer the uptick was around this point. So we almost have another switch. And then, since we won that switch, I'm just going to let go of Sableye here. Sableye has kind of no more play. But since we don't have the Purified one, we do have this Power Gem, which is nice in this matchup right here. And I'm just going to let this Sableye go. Like I was saying, we kind of already... since we know everything that's in the back, we know Sableye is kind of useless at this point. Just let him go. And he gets a little bit more farm, but we might get to the move here. Does come back in with a Azumarill to get a little farm. This is actually horrific. But the thing is, the Azumarill isn't that good when shields are up. In fact, Azumarill is like one of the worst mon, I think, when shields are up. It is very slow to get to moves, and the bubble damage is literally nothing. And since I got it low, I can just shield whatever this Azumarill throws and then farm it down here. And then they have the flying mon against Bastiodon, the Mandibuzz, which is obviously not going to do anything. So that's GG here. Yep, and then they leave this game. Yep. And then I think this is the first person I've played that is Legend. And we're pretty close to Legend. I think there was a spoiler on the thumbnail. So a lot of people leading DD, which is why I'm leading Sableye. A lot of people actually lead Bastiodon with this team. And then have Sableye in the back as a safe swap. But since so many people are using Bastiodon, not Bastiodon, DD, Defense Deoxys in the front, I think that it's fine to have Sableye in the front. Plus, Sableye with energy is pretty nice. I'm just going for the pups on cooldown here, not trying to save any energy, because I actually want to do as much damage as freaking possible to this Vigoroth. Vigoroth is a problem for the rest of our team, so I just want to do literally as much damage as possible. Don't care about anything else here. And if they switch, we swap, but I don't think they'll switch at this point. So we have a ton of energy here. The question is whether or not we think there's another steel type in the back, which could be obviously a terrible problem for us. But I don't know if I can switch here either, because we need to maintain alignment with the Sableye and the DD, because obviously DD is going to be very good against this Bastiodon. I'm just trying to get shields at this point. They have a ton of energy. They're just farming up a storm. But I think I can I can take one charge move still on Sableye, so I won't have to use a shield there. And we can just kind of like farm down. If they throw a Thunderbolt, that'll obviously do a ton of damage, but most people are rocking Rock Slide. Oh, he actually did have Thunderbolt. It would take two to take us out there. And they do have a Charmer in the back, so we're not going to try to throw a move at all against this team at this point at all. Maybe we do, but just seeing it now, I guess we just do, because, oh, maybe I'm trying to make sure the timer, if he wants to try to switch out on the timer, that he has to use shields. That could be a thing, and then Sableye could farm down the DD and throw a move still at this Alolan Ninetales. But I think at this point we actually didn't really need to use moves there, and then we just maintain alignment. And this is what I'm talking about. If you have alignment at the beginning, it seems really hard to lose alignment if you don't get caught on charge moves. So that's what we're trying to stay away from. And that's really the only thing you kind of have to look out for, is getting caught on charge moves. So I'm just throwing the moves, not usually right when I get them, unless I know the timer's down. And then just, throwing it at a weird time so that they can't catch. It seems to be working. I think this is probably the right thing to do. I'm surprised I didn't actually see very many Wild Charge users. I actually thought Wild Charge would be insane in this meta, because you could just Wild Charge a dip into a bulky mon. So start with something like a Alolan Raichu or Kanto Raichu, and then throw your Wild Charge, or even Mew, throw your Wild Charge, and then dip into Umbreon, let Umbreon just soak some damage. Umbreon or Azumarill or DD, probably DD, since you can just do that too. Go into DD, use a Psycho Boost, go back into Raichu, use a Wild Charge, go back into DD, use a Psycho Boost, back and forth type thing. But I really haven't seen that. Alright, this person's using Venu in the front. Okay, so our Venu strat, it basically became, it's random because I never really played, but it basically became, I don't throw it the first move, I'll shield the first move if she throws it here, and then shield it, have a ton of energy, get the lead, and we will throw a move on the Venusaur. And if they don't shield, I can actually farm down, I think. They got an extra Vine Whip in there, though. That's not good. But I think I can farm down. And then I come into the Bastiodon just in case I can't. And then they came in with Sableye. This is actually a good matchup for Bastiodon. This probably was a misclick, if I'm guessing. Because Bastiodon doesn't really take a ton of damage from these foul plays. Obviously, they do decent damage because foul play is a decently good move. But Bastiodon is such a tank. Even though my Bastiodon's not XL. If you have an XL Bastiodon, I'm sure you're taking these moves like nothing. If the Stone Edge lands, I think it almost KOs. I think it actually might KO. Sableye is pretty squishy, even though it does get to like level 50 if they do have an XL. Which it doesn't look like they have a fully XL'd Sableye. Looks like maybe it's a Best Buddy, level 40. So I think ours is a level 41 Best Buddy, if I'm guessing correctly. So that would make it 42. So since I used that strategy in that last match, I was like, okay, this is going to be our Venus strategy, because we literally are like not weak to Venusaur, but it's pretty neutrally good against our whole team. So it's a team effort to take out Venusaur here. Although I think if they don't sneak in a Vine Whip and you do get the foul play off, probably just let it... I'd probably still come in with Bastiodon, actually. I was thinking, is there any chance I come in Medicham? Probably not, because I think Bastiodon... I'm trying to catch on Bastiodon. We don't catch, but they end up throwing anyways, so now we have a huge energy advantage in the front. And the switch windows are weird, even if they have hard counter, so that's good to remember here, since they threw this move. And they're staying in, which is kind of odd. I think I'll just go for farm down. And then I have to think, is the thing they have in the back really bad against Bastiodon? So that makes me think there's a Charmer in the back. So if there is a Charmer in the back, I'm definitely going to want to switch into Sableye at some point to try to snipe this. And not only to snipe this, but to really pull out the possible Charmer and give Bastiodon a chance. And they actually do end up having Talonflame. Luckily, these moves take a long time. I try to get to this power gym. Sometimes people aren't looking and they think that you have return. So if they don't notice, and this happens to me all the time, if they don't notice we're not purified, sometimes we can just get this power gem through for double super effective, and that's pretty nice for us. Now, this game's looking not great still. We do end up saving our Sableye for a possible sack swap later. But Medicham's not great against Sableye, especially Sableye with this much energy now. But we do have a full life and a shield, so that's good to know. And the switch timer's almost back up. We can maybe try to catch one of these foul plays. I actually think that most Sableye... Okay, the Sableye is not XL, it's level 40 as well. And we do end up catching one of these moves. I actually think the way you're supposed to go against Medicham is to throw a return and go for double return or return in foul play. I know it's not straight foul play, as not the most efficient way to do it. So I do know there's at least one return in there somewhere in the one-on-one matchup. But now we have a shield, and we're just going to pup all the way through this since power... I mean, the counters are still doing damage because it is a dark type. It's still single resisted, I believe, because Ghost double resist fighting. I believe that's true. If I'm wrong, someone in the comments will let me know. But I believe that's how it is, so... Yeah, and then we obviously don't want to throw the Psychic. Psychic's double resisted, so I'd rather be single resisted than double resisted. And then we just pup down. Foul play wouldn't have KO'd us there, just FYI. I know there was some lag there, but it wouldn't have mattered either way. Alright, DD. You'd love to see this lead. They do come in with the Umbreon. I actually switch into Bastiodon. This was a mistake. Big mistake. I think I remember this. I think I lose this game because of this. So I came into the Bastiodon because well, one, I'm not well versed with this team yet, and sometimes I'm prone to mistakes. And yeah, I also thought, I want to get this away from the DD, but that's not the way to think in this new timer era, I think. You don't need to hide from a Pokemon if you have the timer to hide from them. So this sucks. I believe I end up using like all my shields in this matchup for some reason. Yeah, you're supposed to win this matchup in all shield scenarios, I think, but I guess since I don't have an XL Bastiodon, this matchup kind of sucked for me. And yeah. Umbreon, DD, both go well with Venusaur and a Azumarill, so I'm thinking it's one of those in the back. If it's a Azumarill, we're in big trouble. It's going to take too much of our team to try to beat that. We are at a shield advantage. I really should have swapped to like Medicham here. I go for the shield here, even though this won't KO. Because I'm scared of it getting too low, but he's got like back-to-back here almost. Oh, I guess he doesn't have back-to-back. I think you saw I tried to switch to the Medicham there. I don't need to shield this, but I really need to be Oh, I think he's got back-to-back here. Nope. And then when he throws this, I really should be trying to farm down or switch to the Medicham farm down. Because I almost have a Stone Edge, but I really need to take shields. And then I end up throwing this move here, which is an absolute mistake. Now I have to hope the thing in the back is weak to Medicham. But the odds of it being weak to Medicham are pretty low. Like I said, it's probably going to be Venusaur or Azumarill. It does end up being Azumarill here. And I really should have switched into... Well, we would have lost alignment here no matter what. Because we never switched in, we didn't switch into the Medicham. Switching into the Medicham is actually fine. Bastiodon's decent against Azumarill, even though it doesn't seem like it is. You're still doing pretty big damage with Stone Edges, and fast move damage does build up as well. So yeah, this was a big mistake, and they do have Play Rough, which means if I don't catch a Play Rough, I mean, this game's over. They have DD, which is going to have Psycho Boost. They have Azumarill with the Play Rough. I'm going to try to catch a Play Rough. I do catch a Play Rough. It just doesn't matter. We're too far behind at this point. Definitely if they bring in Umbreon, bring in Medicham. Yeah, for sure. I'll remember that for the future if I'm still using this team. And then it's like, I want to throw the Psychic, but I don't want to get caught either. And now that he comes in with the DD, I'm like, I guess I'll power up twice and then Psychic maybe. But I'm pretty screwed because Psycho Boost is a thing, and I need to Psychic this after 2 Power Punches, and then I also need to Psychic the Azumarill, and I can't let them catch on the Umbreon. So you can tell this is just like a horrific situation. And the Azumarill has, I think it's about 2 away, 1 or 2 away from another Play Rough. Yeah, so this is going to be Psycho Boost, Dip, and even if we KO the Azumarill or they don't catch on the Umbreon, they definitely have another Psycho Boost. I don't know. We could win this game maybe if they try to do something crazy or if they don't have enough energy for another Psycho Boost, but they definitely do. Yeah, GG. Huh. Tough game. Misplay by me, but we don't use the team enough. But the more we play, the more we'll get there. I've only played 3 sets with the new timer, even though I've had 2 days to use it. Like I said, a lot of personal stuff, so haven't had the time to play. I actually might play this weekend. I don't know. I don't usually play on the weekend, but yeah. Haunter, this is obviously what you want to see. 2 of our Pokemon are good against this, so that's good to know for the future. They do come in with a Steel type. Again, against these Steel types, you don't want to play around. Because you don't have a lot of time in the switch in, so just gonna go for straight pups. Gonna go for 2 pups and not a farm down either. Just want this kind of just out of our lives. And we can always switch into the Bastiodon against the Hunter to preserve Medicham if it needs to be preserved, which it probably does. Just in case there's a normal type in the back or another Steel type. I actually really thought about shielding this. I pressed it when it was already about to expire, so ended up not shielding it, which is fine. And like I said, we can preserve this by switching into Bastiodon. And then even if they have something that's weak against Bastiodon on the back, Bastiodon can take both of those things out, the Hunter and a Charmer or a Flyer. Alright, so last game here, I only wanted to show 2 sets. I only played 3 sets. The third set was not very good. I actually went 1-4 in the other set, which was I think that was the second set. So this was the third set of the day. Alright, so he's coming with Skarmory. I know this is kind of like a neutral matchup, so I'm going to come in. I'm going to shield this. I'm going to go for the Foul Play, and then I'm going to try to go for another Foul Play maybe, or switch into the Medicham. Yeah. Okay, if he takes one of these, if he takes both of these, he gets KO'd. If he takes one of these and shields the second... Oh, I was going to say if he shields the second one, I can come in with Medicham. But I'm going to force the shield here if he wants to throw a Sky Attack. He is at Sky Attack here, so I threw right away just to try to misalign these timers. and to get a bit of an advantage here on Medicham, and I knew he would have to shield, and we could just trade the shields here. I am at a shield disadvantage, but I'm power upped once, and being powered up is pretty nice. And he comes up with the Umbreon, which means he probably is triple weak. Not triple, I mean triple weak to Medicham, kind of. But he must be double weak to Medicham here in the back. But since we're pupped once, I mean, we're just staying in this matchup and try to get all the way through this, right? Foul play is the way to go, I think, against Medicham. Technically, Last Resort, I believe, does more damage in one go, but it costs a lot more energy, and it's more energy efficient for the damage to go straight for foul play. I'm guessing he's probably got a normal type in the back, maybe Vigoroth. Maybe Vigoroth, because if it was a lick damage user, he probably would bring that in, like Munchlax or Licky Licky or Lickitung, because at least it would be doing super effective fast move damage to bring down this Medicham. Okay, does come back in with a Skarmory. We are basically at a power-up punch right now, and it is a Vigoroth, and this is actually going to do decent damage because I think we're already 4 pupped up, so this is super effective. Didn't do that much damage, but, decent. And I come in with the Sableye here because I know I have a charge attack almost ready, and I'm going to be resisting these counters, and I double resist the Body Slam. So I'm thinking if I could just get to 2 foul plays, maybe I could take this out. And I felt like I needed to farm this down, but that's okay. Even if we get hit by a Bulldoze, I think it would take 2 full Bulldozes, even with the counters, to take us out. So he won't be able to go for any Body Slam because we do resist Body Slam. And I think the fast attacks will end up taking out because it's not a true... Oh, I almost got it. Did you see that? I clicked the Medicham. Anyways, it's not a fighter, so it is taking neutral damage from these fast attacks. And then I thought, let me do as much damage as I can with one counter. You saw it took down a lot of the HP. So I actually think I would get KO'd by another Body Slam with the counters. So I was wrong in that department. So yeah, these were 2 pretty good sets. I do think it's really hard to lose if you want to lead and your team is an ABB team. Yeah. And then I wanted to talk about, like I said at the beginning of the video, I don't think Hypno's very good in this meta because it just takes him so long to get to charge moves. And this timer really helps Pokemon that are slow to get, really fast to get to moves, sorry. So Hypno to get to a punch, it takes 4 confusions. Each confusion is 4 turns, so that's 2 seconds. It takes 8 seconds to get to 1 move on Hypno. And when your switch timer is 30 seconds, that's not great, to be fair. So that's why I think Hypno's not good. And then I think Scrafty's not good because of a lot of the plans. Well, Scrafty's not good in the way that we used it. Maybe it is good in other teams, but the way that we used it was sort of in gaming it's called Protect the Queen strat. And what it is basically you put you sacrifice everything else for the betterment of one thing, and you buff that thing as much as you can while protecting it. So that's the kind of strat I've always used with Scrafty, is like leave it all the shields, try to get things down to as low as possible to let it power up punch through it, even in bad matchups, and then it can power through everything else in the back once it's strong enough. So that's what I've been using, and that's not really good in this type of setup because if you think about it, you know how Skarmory, or you beat Skarmory in the 2 shield? The problem is Skarmory can come in, Sky Attack you, dip, and then you're forced to dip if they have some sort of counter. And then if you come back in against the Skarmory, you no longer have the power up punch counters, and you no longer can ever win that matchup because they'll just keep dipping and keep themselves ahead to where you're just doing non-power up punch damage counters against their Skarmory. And obviously this is just one case scenario, but this is the kind of thing that leaves Scrafty to not be so good in the strategy that we were using it in. And yeah, so I've really just tried to avoid those 2 Mon. It's possible. So there was a time when I was looking at people playing streamers, and I was thinking, there's not really a lot of counter users in this meta except for DD, and it's possible, and Medicham, it's possible that something like a triple weak to counter team would be decent, but also being strong against both of those Mons, so that would be like double lick damage. So Licky Licky, Munchlax, and Umbreon, like that sort of team might work out. But there are Obstagoons in some places, and obviously Obstagoon would just beat that team all by itself. So it's risky. There are a lot of risky teams, though, to be playing in this. I think the key is bulk and fast charge moves, and I think that's how you're going to win games. Safe swaps are tough. Really, you don't even need balanced teams, in my opinion, to be fair. I was saying ABB against ABB is like auto wins now, but if you don't use a balanced team and you just sort of have 3 really good Mon, and you're just switching out, like I was saying with the Alolan Raichu and DD example there, it's possible that you could just win with any 3 Mon as long as they're bulky. So go ahead and try out maybe these strats. Try out this strat if you want. If you're somehow doing good with the Hypno Scrafty, let me know in the comments, because while I haven't actually used it in this timer, it just doesn't seem theoretically good in this sort of setup. But if you're doing well with it, let me know. All right, I'll see y'all in the next one.